Well, hey there folks, Mike here, and just out for a little bit of a walk for the first time in way too long. And as you can see, it's still winter, if you can really call it winter. We've had such an odd winter this year. Like, we're only in the first week of March 2024, and less than a week ago we were in positive double digits, and then 24 hours later we were back to close to zero. So it's been quite the journey in terms of weather patterns and temperatures, and it's been absolutely crazy. You know, usually February, March are the coldest seasons, or the coldest months I should say, of the winter here in Canada, but it's just been crazy. So needless to say, things are at a little bit of a lull, and it's not raining, it's not snowing. Right now the temperature is -3 degrees Celsius. Wind chill factor brings it down to -10, give or take. And I thought, well, high time I go for a walk, try and lose some of the bulk that I've accumulated over the last few months, and test out the Enlightened equipment Torrid jacket that I picked up for the Great Divide Trail. And I did this for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's another gear review for you guys. And number two, I did have it packed for the Great Divide Trail that I attempted with Rootless Wanderer last summer. And even though we failed to do pretty much anything of the trail itself, I do recall sitting in Waterton National Park having breakfast with Rootless, wearing this coat, and I think maybe the same base layer Smart Wool 150 that I'm wearing right now. And I remember being chilly, and I thought, you know, for this kind of a coat that has really good reviews online, and I remember putting it on indoors when I first got it and thought, wow, this is really toasty. I thought, why am I still as chilly as I am? And so now that I'm under more controlled circumstances, I thought I'd give it a shot and see what happens. So before I go too far, I want to take this opportunity to ask you to like, subscribe, hit that bell. It would help me and the channel out tremendously, and help bring more content like this over to you guys. And let's take a look at the Torrid from Enlightened Equipment. Okay, so the men's Torrid jacket from Enlightened Equipment. Number one, it is a synthetic jacket. It is not down. So for those that have allergies, this is going to be one of those options that you might want to look into. But to give you some more tech specs about the jacket, and this is directly from the website. So first off, in terms of overall weight, the jacket will start at about 7.6 ounces or 215 grams. I am currently sporting the 2XL size, and that comes in at about 320 grams or 11 ounces to give you a perspective of the two ranges. In terms of the fill, it is 2 ounce per square yard ClimaShield Apex synthetic insulation. So it's kind of like a polyester fiber fill. And then of course the outer fabric is a ultralight nylon fabric that has a durable water repellent finish for better performance in light precipitation. Anyways, that is a direct quote off the website. Now, again, what I was kind of curious about was, you know, why it was that I was kind of feeling chilly, you know, just outside when it wasn't all that cold out. And what I can tell you is that I'm wearing the same base layer on my legs, so the Smart Wool 150, as I am on my torso. And just the pants that I'm wearing, which is just like a cotton lightweight hiker pant, seems to break the wind a little bit better than this fabric here. If I was out of the wind and if I was definitely indoors, this jacket is actually really toasty. So depending on where you're going, the wind or the temperature range, I would strongly suggest that you consider this to be just one of several layers that you would either layer under or on top of, just to give you some variations and some options depending on what the temperature actually is. What I do like about this jacket is, or actually several things. So first off, the wrists are elasticized. You can see here that the zipper goes right up to the chin, and if need be, I can kind of tuck my chin into the neck area. And as for the hood, it's also elasticized. Might actually need to do this or undo this first. So here, and there you go. So it actually closes in around your face quite well. It doesn't really give the opportunity for wind to actually get into the hood itself and blow back. So it's a great feature from that perspective. And there are also drawstrings if you want to make that enclosure even more so. So if you're camping out overnight and it's actually really cold, this actually might be a really good thing to wear at night in addition to your base layer. The pockets themselves are zippered. The waistband is also not just elasticized, but you can also grab onto, actually I think these are inside the pocket. Yes, they are. So inside the pocket you have these adjustable elasticized strings, so you can actually really tighten down along the waist. Now, even the article from, or the listing from Enlightened Equipment says that they are intentionally oversized to allow for layering underneath. So even as big as I am, I find this to be a little on the large side, but what I do like is that it can cover your butt, and it does give you lots of wiggle room in terms of your movement, your momentum. Pockets are nice and deep. I got like both of my gloves in my one pocket, lots of room in the pockets themselves. The only thing I don't like, very minor, is that there's no interior pockets. Not a huge deal, just a little personal thing that I like. But the main thing is just the overall warmth. Like when I was at home and I just put the jacket on, I didn't quite start to sweat, but it was it had an immediate effect. So it was actually really warm right from the get-go. And again, all I have on right now is my neck gaiter and a Smart Wool 150 base layer, and that's it. So considering what I actually am wearing, it's actually pretty warm. So I could very easily have another layer underneath and I might not feel the cold as much, but it's something to consider, especially when you're outdoors and active, and also when you start taking breaks, you don't want hyperthermia to kick in, right? So the Enlightened Equipment Torrid jacket, great as an option if you need to add to your available layers when you go out hiking and backpacking. And the other thing is that it's so light. It is super light. So like I said, even the 2XL is only 300 grams or 11 ounces. It packs down really well. Now, if I had to compare it to a single jacket that I would use for winter hiking, some of you might have seen me in a woods black coat, and it's a really nice jacket. It is a little on the heavier side, and as soon as I get home and confirm what those weights are, I'll put that information in the video here so that you can compare the two. But I can go out on a hike even in colder temperatures than this with the same base layer and not have the same kind of effect felt from a wind. The outer material, I think, is just a little bit better in terms of breaking that wind and also keeping that heat in. Same kind of features where the neck can actually zip right up. Actually, I think it comes up a little bit more, but it also has the same kind of feature with the hood where it's elasticized and fits around the face a little bit more. So this is a relatively quick review of a piece of gear that I use, but I wanted to bring that information to you guys, especially now that the hiking season is fast approaching and some of you are probably going to be going up into higher altitudes or different climates and want some additional insulation for when you're out in the outdoors. Anyways, folks, I think that's really about it for now. Like, subscribe, hit that bell. Let me know if there's any questions, concerns, or comments. If you have anything to add about your own experience about the Torrid, please leave those in the comment section below. If you have any questions about my experience with Enlightened Equipment or how I got it in Canada in the first place, because of course with the States, we're usually fighting a US dollar and a negative impact, and it's going to cost us more money, plus shipping, plus the border, plus everything else. So luckily I have some family in the States, so that's another story. Anyways, with that, hope to see you out there on the trail. Take care and see you next time.